Maudi, thank you for talking to me. So it's a big deal, isn't it? I mean, 9.7 million barrels per day. This in a situation where the oil price had reached record lows, really, in the last few weeks, lows of 18 years, low in terms of the price. But what does it all mean in a context where demand is insignificant? It has fallen by a third.
Good afternoon, Tula Sizwe, and good afternoon to your viewers. Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, this is unprecedented. OPEC has never cut by this magnitude. So they're under a lot of pressure, and they have been for some time. They've been under pressure even before the coronavirus hit the world. They were facing the difficulty, OPEC members, with a supply coming from the U.S. That has obviously put a lot of pressure on the oil price. And the OPEC members for the past couple of years, they've been trying to cut back on production to try and show up the price. But with the U.S., shale producers coming into the system and flooding the market, that was not, those efforts by OPEC members were not really yielding the required results. And oil price continued to decline. So now with the coronavirus, that's a double blow. But what it has done, the coronavirus, is that it's put under pressure, it put a lot of pressure on the U.S. producers as well. So we've seen the price war that resulted in March when Russia could not agree with Saudi Arabia, that the oil price came under pressure, and as a result, those shale producers in the U.S., unfortunately, they became unprofitable. So that a lot of those are going to go out of the market, and that's why this particular deal is now brokered by a very unusual party, being the U.S., Donald Trump, because understandably so, they are also under pressure. And that's why they're now coming into the party to try and negotiate and boost the price.
Yeah, I mean, hardly surprising, is it, that Trump would be at the forefront of a deal? I mean, after all, before U.S. president, he was the man known for the art of the deal. But localize it for me, Maudi. What does it all mean for us here in South Africa? We are importers of crude oil for our fuel needs in the country. Our fuel needs are not as high right now, but we are an economy looking to dig ourselves out of the doldrums.
Yeah, so look at it twofold, as Tula Sizwe. I mean, the lower oil price, it's good for economies. And I always say, if the perfect stimulant to the world economy is the lower oil price. Unfortunately, if you've got a lower oil price because of this price war, and that's causing a lot of disruption into the world economy. That's not going to be good either, also for us as a country, as South Africa, because effectively it means your trading partners are struggling because of the lower oil price. I can give an example, Nigeria. I mean, you look at some of the budget that they pronounced two months ago, literally the whole budget means nothing because that was based on the oil price, which was slightly higher. And a number of other oil-producing countries, if they are in trouble, the whole global GDP gets impacted negatively, and therefore our trading partners, where they struggle, we also are going to struggle. But in general, I think when we have the lower oil price, we should benefit from that, provided we are out and of course, running the economy. Unfortunately, we've got a lower oil price at this point, but we are out of lockdown. So it creates a lot of difficulties. The airlines are on the ground. They're not able to take advantage of that. So we are still pretty much almost relying on the solution and finding the cure around the coronavirus until we can really say this lower oil price means a better economic growth for us. Otherwise, it means absolutely nothing when you've got economies being on the lockdown.
All right. Maudi Lenswane, thank you so much from Lehumo Capital there, making the point that we have at least one factor that is working in our favor, but unfortunately not so able to take full advantage of it because, of course, we are on national lockdown.